Shavuot, the festival, the gift, because of selfless service in a selfish world. We start by remembering the beginning of the world. Cain kills Abel. And when God asked him, "Where is your brother?" he replied, "Am I my brother's keeper?" Somebody else had to do something to bring the legacy, the continuation of legacies of Abel into this world. And who did it? The parents. Adam and Eve brought Seth into this world under Abel. Later on, we come to the Tower of Babel, another event where the intention of the world was selfish, to make a name for themselves. There are two ways of making a name for oneself. One, by building a monument which will outlive you, and the other is by doing good to others that people will remember you. And the people chose the first way of building a monument. And God did not like that idea. He said that they have all the resources and this is what they do. And he changed languages. Now we come to the first family through which the Jewish people will come. Our forefathers. Terach was father of Abraham. Terach was an idol worshipper. He had 3 children: Abraham, Nahor, and Haran. And it so happened that Haran died young. Haran had kids. Lot was his son, and he had 2 daughters, Milcah and Iscah. Abraham and Nahor decided to give a continuation to the name of their expired brother Haran. So Nahor marries Milcah and Abraham marries Sarah. But I said that Haran had 2 daughters, one is Milcah and Iscah. So Rambam comes to our help and tells us the word Iscah, the name Iscah is Nesicha, a princess. When Abraham marries the princess, he calls her Sarai, my princess, who later on God changed her name to Sarah, the princess of the world. So Abraham marries Sarah, and Sarah is a barren woman. So he takes Lot, his brother Haran's son, as his own son. Later on, they separate. Lot goes to live in Sodom. When God destroys Sodom, the only people who survive is Lot and his 2 daughters. The 2 daughters think that the only survivors in the entire world is their father and both of them. So now they do the Yibum. Yibum is the process in which there is continuity to the name. And this process is known from the first person when Cain killed Abel. So Adam and Hawa made a name for their dead son Cain by bringing another child under his name, Seth. So for today's language, it seems Yibum is such a strange activity, but what Abraham and Nahor is doing for Haran is a kind of Yibum. They are making a name, they are protecting the heritage, they are protecting the name of their dead brother. Later on, when we get the mitzvah of Yibum, it will be limited to only brothers and only if the dead doesn't have any children. But Yibum is well known and understood for the continuity of the world, and that has been the reason why continuity existed. Without that, Cain would be punished, Abel was dead, the world would have been ended at that moment. Coming back to our story, let's come to the story of Shavuot. There is a man called Elimelech and his wife Naomi. These are people, very important people from the tribe of Judah. Rich but not responsible. During the plague in Israel, they pack up and run away. They had to take responsibility of their fellow Jews. They went away. Elimelech dies. He has two kids. Now it is their responsible to continue the name of their father. And what do? They marry girls from the tribes of Moab. Ruth and Orpah. Because they are not continuing their name of the father, they died. Orpah went back to her family house, and Ruth decided to live back with Naomi, the mother in law, who is poor and would not survive if left alone. They come back to Eretz Israel. This time they are poor. And finally, there is a cousin of Elimelech, the father in law, who decides to do a kind of Yibum with Ruth so that the family name will continue. So let us see and put things in perspective and understand what is happening here and the mystery of the three brothers. Remember, Abraham and Nahor wanted to perpetuate the name of their brother Haran. Lot was Haran's son. From Lot's son and his two daughters came two people, two nations, and that is Moab and Ammon. And Ruth is from Moab. So Abraham and Nahor stood for Haran. Abraham is the father of the Jewish nations. Who is Nahor? From Nahor came Rivka, Rachel, and Leah, the mothers. From Haran, we know that came Sarah. And from side of Lot, when it was time that the tribe of Judah had taken destructive measures to destroy their house, who comes to save them? From the house of Haran, the third dead brother, comes Ruth. And when these three brothers are doing this Yibum like activity, helping each another, then comes the king, because Boaz and Ruth are great grandparents of King David. So we got our king because three brothers decided to help each another in their quest. This is the story of Shavuot. We read Ruth because on Shavuot we got the Torah, which was one of the promises to Abraham, and the other promise was the kings will come out from your loins. And the promise of the kings is from, we see that the promise is kept. And this is the story of Shavuot. Thank you.